Hey everybody, it's Ben, and this is my entry to Scott Running with Comics 500 subscriber contest. First off, Scott, congratulations on getting to 500 subscribers, my friend. Each and every one of them well and truly deserved. You're a fantastic guy, and you do fantastic videos, as always. Here's hoping for another 500, and I hope you get to 1,000 as soon as possible. As I said, fantastic videos, fantastic guy. If you haven't done an entry to his contest yet, the deadline is the 2nd of March. So hurry up, do your entries, get them in, and enter. Scott wants us to show off our comic room, which I posted a comment on his video announcing the contest, basically saying that my comic room is actually in my bedroom, or my room, much similar to the comic book Lowdown or Wellington. There was a couple of questions. Holy Grail book right now. What else do you collect? And who would be your dream writer, artist, or creative team that you meet at a convention one day? So without further ado, I will show you my comic room. We'll start out with my trades. First up, we have that's an awesome documentary on the Shadow Knows documentary. Really fantastic. A big thank you to a friend of mine, Nigel, on the Shadow Knows Facebook group or Facebook page for sending me that. Fantastic documentary. Anyway, so we have the Marvel Chronicle Encyclopedia. We have the Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes guide, which I got from my local TK Maxx for an absolute steal. This is the DC Universe Encyclopedia with an awesome cover by Alex Ross. You can't see it because it's in Christmas wrapper because I'm trying to wait for to get some more life jackets or plastic book covers which are issued from your local library to cover my trades to try and keep them as immaculate condition as possible. Next up we have Akira Volume 1 from Dark Horse by Katashiro Otomo, which was sent to me by one of my subscribers, Mirko. I still got the letter in there on the very first page as you open the cover. Thank you ever so much for that, my friend. I will definitely be rereading the first volume of Akira as soon as possible. Next up we have Black Sad by Juan Diaz Canales and Juanido Guanido? Oh, I can't pronounce those names very well. Next up we have 3 trades which I'm sending to a friend of mine, along with a couple of single issues as well, so I'm not going to show you those. But next up we have the first 2 issues of the Marvel's Mightiest Heroes, Marvel's Mightiest Heroes graphic novel collection. Issue 1, which is the Avengers, and issue 2, which is the Spider-Man issue. Next up we have Judgment's Bone, the 1-volume edition, which as you can see is a huge thick book. It's over 1,300 pages, I think 1,302, I think if memory serves. Absolutely fantastic series, and if you're into Lord of the Rings or fantasy stuff, definitely recommend check out Judgment's Bone. First up we have my initial trade shelf, which is, as you can see, there's my Marvel 2014 calendar, which I got for free at my local comic shop. Which you can see is the cover to the first issue of James Robertson's Fantastic Four. Next up we have the Darkest Compendium, volumes 1 and 2. We have Wanted, Chew, Thor, Punisher, Welcome Back Frank. We then have the Green Lantern Library. So you have Rebirth all the way up to Agent Orange. You have the re-release trade of John Constantine Hellblazer, volume 1, Original Sins, which I'm hoping to get volumes 2, The Devil You Know, and Volume 4, The Family Man, signed by David Lloyd on Saturday at my first convention in Cardiff, which is my local shopping town, where I live in Wales. Then you have a couple of older Hellblazer trades. You have Preacher by Garth Ennis and Steve Dillon. Absolutely phenomenal series, and my all-time favourite series, period. Next up, we have Warren Ellis' Transmetropolitan. Warren Ellis and Derek Robinson, Vertigo. If you're into cyberpunk or journalism, or if you're studying it in college or university or in any capacity, definitely recommend you check out Transmetropolitan. Next up, you have all my unread trades, barring a couple. You have, you can't see these in shadow, but I'll reel them off to you. You have Aphrodite Rebirth Volume 1, which I got on the recommendation of Stephen McKee. You have Clone Volume 1, which I got on the recommendations of Sleepy Reader 666, or Damien, and Jason the Dude, or Jason Ardron. Next up, you have Ghosted, which I got on the recommendation of Nerdo McNerdy, or Dan, who was actually a fellow Welshman, which was really cool to find out. Next up, you have American Vampire, volumes 1 through 4. I've read 1 through 3, I need to read 4. You then have one of the prize in my collection, which is The Private Case Files of the Shadow by Denny O'Neil and Mike Kaluta, which is the collection of the issues that Denny O'Neil and Mike Kaluta did on the Shadow back in the 1970s for DC Comics, which you actually have an issue which is co-written by Denny O'Neil and Len Wein, and is also, I believe it's coloured by Burning Lightson, which is obviously the co-creators of Swamp Thing, which is really awesome. I got this hardcover, which you can see if I zoom in a little bit, underneath Volume 4 of American Vampire. I got this for £6.52 on eBay. There's a little bit of a nick at the top right corner of the actual hardcover, but for that kind of money, for an out-of-print book that's been out of print since the 70s, I'm not going to pass that up. You then have Francesco Francavilla's The Black Beetle, No Way Out hardcover. Haven't read that yet. Mark Waid's Volume 1 of The Green Hornet. Haven't read that yet, but I'm really looking forward to those two books. You have Batman, The Dark Knight Returns and The Long Halloween. Absolutely phenomenal stories and required reading if you're a Batman fan. You then have Bedlam Volume 1 by Nick Spencer and Riley Rossmo. And you then have the continuation from Agent Orange of the entire Jeff Johns Green Lantern saga, from Blackest Night all the way up until War of the Green Lanterns. I need to get the Brightest Day Green Lantern softcover or trade at some point. You then have Hitman Volume 1 by Garth Ennis and John McCrea, and you then have a couple of Valiant books, which I believe they are the 3 Exo Manowar trades. Absolutely fantastic series. If you aren't reading anything from Valiant Comics, do so now, because Valiant Comics are awesome. Don't take my word for it. Talk to David Rakunis or talk to Mark MAW001, and they will both sing the praises of Valiant Comics. Next up, you have a bunch of more trades. You have you have I, Vampire, Frankenstein Agent of Shade, which I'm hoping to get signed by Alberto Ponticelli, who's the artist on that series. The first volume, which is War of the Monsters. I don't have Volume 2, unfortunately, at the moment. You also have Justice League Dark in here. You have Fatale. You have the Manhattan Project. You have Northlanders. You have Fables. And you have the rest of the library of Transmetropolitan up to Volume 9. I need to get Volume 10 as soon as possible to complete the run. And then on the final book in there, you have Josh Fialkov and I can't remember the artist's name right now, but I'll put an annotation in later. The Last of the Greats from Image Comics. You then have my 2 comic storage boxes, which I don't use. Well, I don't currently have long or short boxes, so I'm going to be using these instead. Probably because I can actually fit more comics in there as well, to be honest. There's my Batman one, which is all my DC stuff. And then the Pilgrims one, which I thought was a band initially for some reason, but I really like the skull design on that. I've always had this affinity for skulls and Grim Reapers and all that kind of stuff. From an artistry point of view, I just always found it really cool and really interesting. So there's those 2, and I'll take the lids off just a second, and I'll show you. Oops, just put you in darkness for a second. I'll just take the lids off these and I'll show you the comics that are inside. Okay, back again. Here we have The Shadow Strikes by Gerard Jones and Eduardo Barreto for the most part. Absolutely fantastic series. This is issue 1. Let me see if I can get the glare off there. Which I owe Mark MAW001 for a huge thank you for, because he actually sent me a link to the issue, which was on eBay, which I got for £1, I think, or $1, excluding postage and packaging. And then you have my Marvel and Indie box, which you have Amazing X-Men Issue 1 rather, by Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness. If you aren't reading Amazing X-Men and you're a fan of the Chris Claremont era of the Uncanny X-Men, I cannot recommend you pick up Amazing X-Men highly enough. Or if you're a fan of Firestar, or if you're a fan of Nightcrawler, this is required reading. And then you have A Voice in the Dark by Laramie Taylor, which I've recently reviewed the first 3 issues of. Absolutely fantastic series, and I cannot recommend it highly enough. And then I'll just put you back here a moment and put you in darkness again, while I just put the lids back on my boxes. There we are. And then down here you have my Predator statue, which is made entirely of scrap metal, nuts, bolts, nails. Just an awesome present of my stepdad, which I got Christmas just gone. And then you have my little alien statue, which is really little in comparison, which I got not Christmas just gone, but last Christmas. Then you have my pile of books I need to read from today, which I got A Voice in the Dark number 4, Amazing X-Men number 4, Uncanny Avengers number 17, and Gail Simone's Red Sonja issue number 1 from volume 5 for $1 or £1. So I figured for that kind of money, why not try out the first issue and then get the rest later. And then over here you have a bunch of trades. Most of this has been read at one point or another. You have in this pile you have Avengers, you have the Punisher, you have 5 Ghosts, Lazarus, All New X-Men, what else is in there? Hawkeye, trying to think what else is in there. Hellblazer, yeah, Doctor Strange the Oath, Doctor Strange, Stranger Doctor is out. Yep, that's that pile from what I can remember. Thor God of Thunder, absolutely phenomenal series. There's, and I'm cheating because I'm looking over the corner so I can see the spine, so I can see what else is in there. Ghost Rider, Walt Simonson's Thor, Batman the Black Mirror, Tomb of Dracula, Werewolf by Night, the Maxi series by Dwayne Straczynski. What else is in there? My phone is going off in my pocket, which is really annoying. Anyway, Chew is in there. What else is in there? I don't know. Oh, Lock and Key is in there as well. I forgot about that. Next up, we have Scarlet Spider, the Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes Ultimate Collection, which was sent to me by Stephen McKee. In this pile again, we have Doctor Strange, Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment. You have the Infinity Gauntlet trade, which was also sent to me by Stephen McKee. You have Brian Michael Bendis' Daredevil. You have Ghost Rider, BPRD, Sandman, Astonishing X-Men, Scalped. And then up here you have Cable and X-Force, Wolverine and the X-Men, Rick Remender's Uncanny X-Force, Thor by JMS or J. Michael Straczynski, Siege, and the first volume of Mark Waid's Indestructible Hulk. You then have all my Valiant stuff, Archer and Armstrong, Bloodshot, Harbinger, and Exo Manowar. Then you have the Bunker issue 1 by Josh Fialkov. Absolutely fantastic first issue, and I'll be reviewing that shortly. So that's pretty much my comic room tour, really. Not an awful lot, because I don't have a lot of room space-wise, unfortunately. What else do I collect? I don't really collect a lot, actually. I used to collect Action Man figures as a kid. I used to get given them for Christmas or whatever. But I don't know if you can see that all that well because my birthday card's in the way. But there's the Action Man box, as you can see there, with my Pikachu clock, which has actually stopped working. I need to get new batteries for it. Yeah. So Action Man I used to collect. I used to collect Pokemon cards when they were all the range. When I was younger, I used to watch the animated series. Unfortunately, my entire collection of Pokemon cards has just grown little legs and run off. I have no idea where they are. Which kind of bugs me now I'm thinking about it. What else? What else do I collect? Not much else apart from single issues and trades. I have the... Unfortunately, it's all in bits, because I pretty much I didn't destroy it, I took it all apart. But I used to collect, again, get given Lego when I was younger. And apparently I built all of it, and then I decided to take it all apart again. I don't know why. I can't remember. Anyway, final question. Who would you want to meet at a convention one day? Okay, I got a few, so I'll just rattle them off. I did have the chance to meet Garth Ennis, of one of my favourite comics authors, and someone who I very nearly had the chance to meet, because he was at the Northlands International Comic Expo last year, as he was last year's guest speaker, whereas the year before that it was Alan Moore. Now, basically, purely from a financial perspective, I couldn't go, which was really, really heartbreaking. Purely, I mean, anybody who's watching this, all my UK fellow friends, you'll all perfectly agree with this. Train fare was really expensive. Accommodation was really expensive. Just getting stuff signed, I'd imagine there would have been some fee attached to that. So yeah, like I said, purely from a money perspective, I couldn't go, which I was really bummed out about. But hopefully I'll get to meet Garth Ennis again one day, or I'll get to meet him again, hopefully in the foreseeable future. I would have taken the first 4 trades of Preacher, Hitman Volume 1, and what else? I don't know. I would have taken those couple of trades for him to sign if I actually went. Who else would I want to meet at a convention? Lammy Taylor, Voice in the Dark. Absolutely fantastic series, and a guy that I have the utmost respect for, both as a comics creator and also as someone else who has a disability, because for those of you who don't know, I have a disability myself. I have cerebral palsy, which, as you can probably tell, I'm missing the thumb and the index finger of my left hand, as you can probably tell because I'm waving my hands around in this video. Just trying to think of stuff to say in terms of creative teams and writers and stuff. So Lammy Taylor is another one. Love to meet him at a convention one day. Neil Gaiman, Sandman, Books of Magic, American Gods, fantastic writer, and seems like a fantastic guy. I watched the 20th anniversary interview with him by Chip Kidd, and he has just one of these voices and one of these personalities that he can be quite serious, but then really funny, but then you have this, at least I have this tendency to just want to listen to everything that Neil Gaiman says. I don't know why, he just has that kind of effect on me. I just need to listen to what he has to say. So, yeah, Sandman is my second favourite series of all time, next to Preacher, which is obviously my first, as many people know if you follow me enough on my videos, or Twitter, Facebook, you know, whatever. Who else? Jeff Johns and either Ethan Van Sciver or Ivan Reyes. the creative team on Green Lantern pre-New 52. Love to meet those guys and get them to sign all of my Green Lantern library, which I still need the Brightest Day paperback to complete the entire run up until that point. Who else? Josh Fialkov, or Josh Rahel Fialkov. I would love to meet that guy, as I love his stuff on iVampire and Last of the Greats from Image. iVampire is from DC's New 52, which was one of the best and sadly one of the most underrated and underheralded series of the New 52, and was sadly cancelled after 19 issues. Technically 18 if you count the 0 issue, but you should, because it's Andrew's origin story, Andrew Bennett. Who else would I want to meet? Okay, a couple of creative teams, let's see. Jason Aaron and Isaac Ribic, Soul God of Santa, absolutely fantastic. Saga, Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, love to meet those two. Scott Snyder and Raphael Albuquerque, and also Sean Murphy, American Vampire creative team. Sean Murphy did the 5-issue mini-series Survival of the Fittest, which focused on Cashel and Felicia Book. Is it Felicia? I think it is. Anyway, I think it's, yeah, sure it's Felicia. Anyway, who else? I think, Paul Jenkins and Jay Lee, the creative team on the Inhumans miniseries, or maxi series, 12 issues, the original Marvel Knights run back in the 90s. Absolutely phenomenal story, fantastic writing and artwork. If you haven't read any of the Inhumans, or if you're looking to get into the Inhumans, definitely recommend the oversized hardcover, which I got for Christmas just gone. Fantastic series, which actually Adam Hollander has recently reviewed. Alan Moore, Stephen Bissett and John Totleben, Saga of the Swamp Thing creative team, because it's Alan Moore and it's Swamp Thing. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Mark Waid and either or all or any of these guys. Mark Waid, Paulo Rivera, Marcos Martin, and of course Chris Samney, Javier Rodriguez, and Matthew Wilson. All of the data were creative team up until this point. Love to meet those guys. Yeah, those are my answers. This has been my comic room tour. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. As always, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Didn't like it, thumbs it down. As I always say, if it's thumbs down the video, by all means, please feel free to tell me why in the comments below, or send me a private message. And if it's your first time here, by all means, please feel free to subscribe. Until next time, this is Gambit896 signing off, and I will see you guys later. Take care.